Hey, great Wednesday evening. This is actually take two because I actually started to speak without actually hitting the live button because that sometimes happens. It's not done on purpose. It's just sometimes happens that way. So I already did the whole spiel in regards to what's going on with the weather. So I don't want to repeat that again, but I will. Uh, I had made mention already that you could feel the progression of the cold front slowly creeping into our area. I did. In the morning, I was out and about walking from one office to the other office, and I didn't feel much of anything. I did have a little bit of work. I think for us, work is kind of slowing down as Christmas starts to get closer, and that's okay. That's one of the reasons why I will be out of town starting Friday, and hopefully be back on the 27th if weather and airport permit. The cold front here is going to hit supposedly Friday morning, Thursday night, and that sucks for me because that's when we are scheduled to fly out. But I don't think that the cold weather is going to be as heavy here, so the airplane cannot take off. The issue is that we fly into Dallas, and I'm praying that Dallas is going to be halfway decent, and then from Dallas we fly into New York City. Uh, Good evening, good evening, evening, good evening. EL exorcism. We're getting there. Just wanted to get that done with all the pleasantries first, Jonathan. Let me say one of the other things that I wanted to mention was in regards to all these trucks that are being stolen. Guys, I'm not even joking. Someone may mention there's six. I actually reported probably six trucks these past 2, 3 days. Six trucks. Six. That's crap loads. That's one of these car lots. Lavadero de dinero, as most cars are. Guys, let me say for us being one of the safest cities in the country, sure don't feel like it. Mr. Erasmo, ¿dónde saca tanta energía para viajar? Bendiciones. It's coming. It's coming. Let me say, I think that it has to do with a lot. And I'll make mention that I was way overweight before. And I lost a lot of weight. And what happens is I tell people that because my legs were so accustomed to carrying so much weight, they're pretty good at walking back and forth, which is interesting. El exorcismo, para allá vamos. Uh, but guys, take care of your belongings. Make sure that you protect that which is yours. And if you need to, carry a gun and shoot anyone that wants to steal your property. I think once we start shooting a couple of individuals that are out there stealing things from other individuals, I think some of the other people that might be following their footsteps might decide maybe it's not such a great idea to be stealing stuff in Brownsville, Texas, because we be arming. Guys, we had mentioned this morning. Had been having a conversation with an individual. Going to call the individual DS. Well, I'm going to call it here D's because it looks like a D's plural. Dees is wanting to share a story or situation that has happened here in the city of Brownsville in regards to uh, our local Catholic diocese, the Catholic Pastoral Center, the Diocese of Brownsville, and asked if I would have Dees on, and I said, "I sure." So we're going to bring Dees on. Hey, Dees, how you doing?
Pretty good.
How you doing
Pretty
today?
good. Also, thank you so much for having me here this evening. And I just wanted to share with the community, you know, that the how we have so much faith, in our diocese, yet they're nothing but wolves. These are the wolves that we need to be aware of. They're not the shepherds. And saying this, I say it because the situation that I'm in is not only because of what was done to me as a child, but coming to them so that they could remove what was brought to me as a child,
Okay. Okay.
then them denying me, after 9 failed exorcisms at their hands and at their mercy by Father Guevara and their pastoral services at the Exodus Center there in San Juan. Um, to no avail, once the list came out 3 years ago, then they shut off all my communication and was shunned away from from Catholic Church, basically.
Well, and thanks for starting out the way. So one of the things that I think that a lot of people had been mentioning after we shared was they were very, very surprised that this was happening here locally. Because anytime you start to speak about stuff like exorcism, the first thing that comes to people's minds are, the Exorcist, the movies, what we see on there,
Correct.
because it's not something that you think happens, right next door to you. You think it's something that happens
Correctly.
in New York, in Chicago, and all those other crazy cities up there. But you never think, well, it's happening right here. But
Exactly. Not exactly how it was done to be either.
yeah, so
This is,
first off, we now we know that the Catholic Church here locally, you know, does perform exorcisms.
yes, they do. They do. They have a special room there on the premises at the where the diocese is, the cathedral, not the cathedral, the in far at the basilica, and it's at the St. John's Church. That's what they're performed. I wasn't the only one there. Apparently, there was back then. I was like number 95, and they were growing. This was 4 years ago, as I showed you the transcripts.
Yeah,
Um, and you saw them. You saw who was involved. This is not something made up. You saw the names of the priests. I met with the bishop many times, a few times to where he denied any of it. And there was actually a report done by the Brownsville Herald last year, and the bishop himself denied that there was ever any exorcisms that ever performed. And you, Mr. Castro, saw the paperwork. You saw where it says that it was that they were. You saw the paperwork. You saw where it said confidential because the paperwork I showed you at one point was confidential. But my case was thrown out, so it's no longer confidential. It's my property, so I can do what I want with it.
yeah,
So that's why I chose to show it to you to make it public.
yeah, and I did receive a copy of the documents. They're dated back November 29th, 2018. And that's what I actually what I first found very intriguing, because I remember the Brownsville Herald article where the archdiocese, the bishop had gone out there and basically declared that such things weren't happening here locally.
Exactly. Thank you, sir. And now you know who's lying, sir. You saw it with your own eyes. You
Right.
saw what I took you. So who's the liar?
Well, again, I read the transcripts, and I very. But let's go back into what you shared. You shared that you have been demon possessed since
Yes.
you were a child.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Now I found. Oh, yes, sir.
at what age did this started to manifest in your life?
9.
At the age of 9.
Yes.
Now, let me say, and you are Catholic, have always been Catholic. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And I'll die a Catholic.
Okay, good. And you've gone through all the rituals in regards to
Yes, sir. Yes,
baptism
sir. Everything practiced.
and
Yes, sir.
baptism and all these. Uh,
Marriage, everything.
Marriage to the church as well.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Catholic Church.
And good. So how is it? What when? How is it that you first started to determine, or who determined at the age of 9 that you were possessed by demons?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that it was I determined that it was at the age of 9 that it was. It had to do with a pedophile priest. Unfortunately, that's where it all began. It had that, and that's where the story. It has to do with a priest And this priest did a lot of harm to the family as well as to the community.
To your family and the priest.
Um, yes, to my family as well as to the community. Trust me, very notoriously known. And this priest um, was involved in a in they're involved in a cult. They have a cult. That's what they have within these priests. There's a cult. It's called the Four Horsemen, and I'm going to name these priests because you know what? I don't care.
No,
The name there's I can't.
sure, of course.
Oh, I thought you said no.
Yeah, please.
Okay, it's Father Benedicto Ortiz. He's that bastard's dead. Sorry for the bad word. Well, it's not a bad word.
Yeah,
He's dead. Father Guevara. He's alive. He's the main one. He's the exorcist. He was the one that did the exorcisms on me. He's the guy who I behooded during one of the masses.
they
Who
they
That's
were,
how I know it's him. There were black masses involved as a child.
and they wore a hood.
They all were hooded. They wore black hoods. They were masses. They were black masses, satanic masses. That was involved in Guadalupe Church, the cathedral. These were involved in cathedrals. These were they. The priest had he had a he had a lot with a resaca where some of these rituals took place in the southmost area.
Well, you mentioned three priests. Is there one
Oh
more?
yes, yes. The fucking fat. Sorry, the homosexual. It's a famous one. It's Juan
Which one?
Nicolau.
Oh,
It's Juan Nicolau.
Brother
Juan
Juan.
Nicolau. Yes, yes, sir. Gustavo Barrera. It's Juan Nicolau. Gustavo Barrera. Father Ortiz.
Well, in regards to the pedophile priest, which one of those was the pedophile
All
priest?
of them.
They
They were
all
all involved. Yes, sir.
okay. And you know for a fact that they were pedophile priests.
Yes.
You had
Oh, yes. I could. Yes, sir.
incidents at 9 years old with them.
Yes. Yes, sir.
And if there is these incidents in regards to them having sex with children, I think, and if unless I'm very
But
mistaken,
the sure does. But that's just peanut butter and jelly.
yeah, yeah.
See, that's nothing. The
And we'll,
coreness
and
of it
we'll get
is
and
the
we'll get
satanic ritual.
but we'll get to the beef. But isn't, and again, I might, somebody might be able to correct me. There is no statute of limitations
Yes, there is.
for pedophilia, for having sex with a child.
Yes. Yeah, apparently there is.
So when you filed your lawsuit against them, did you file your lawsuit because of the pedophilia, or because the priest had sex with you, or because of the demon possession that went crazy?
In my case, it had to do with the demonic possession. The bishop didn't want to deal with it. The bishop, every time we went into mediation, the bishop was whisked away because I would manifest.
Uh,
So there
Did you
was no numbers for me, you
did,
know,
did you ever
my sibling,
did you,
they settled. There's no numbers for me. I was The numbers they gave me were no, I couldn't. No, I could not read. Those numbers were not numbers. There's no number. When you're 9 years old,
was there ever any
because
police report
they
filed?
use you as a pawn.
Was there ever any police report
Yes,
filed
sir.
in regards to the sex between the priest and the
Yes,
children
sir. Yes, there is. Yes, there was. There was a police report filed by the psychologist.
by your psychologist?
Yep, there's
Okay.
police filed, and apparently there's a police filed. There's police reports filed. There's CPS reports filed. There's APS reports filed. Everything you could think of has been filed, and nothing has been nothing has because that's how powerful the diocese is. This is how powerful they are. I have reached out to the diocese, the main diocese, which is the one in Houston, actually, that beheads this one. And no, they haven't reached out to me. I have reached out to the nuncio, who is the ambassador for the bishop. I mean, I'm sorry, for the Pope of the United States, and and can't even get to them. I have sent them transcripts, sent them everything, and it's just they keep just like they do. They try to sweep everything under the rug.
Well, let me ask you. Let's go back to your experience when all this first started. Who determined that you needed to go to a priest? Was it your parents, relative,
No,
or
this is as a no this as you grow up and you go through what you go through living with him and all that because you live, he was a part of you, right? So skip all that. You're an adult already. You break free from him, but there's something always wrong with you. There's something within you.
at the
You
age of
don't know what's in you, but there's something in you, and
okay,
you're always running from that, and you don't know what it is.
but
But there's always this blackness,
at the age of 9,
right?
who opted?
Younger than that.
Who made the decision that you needed to go to a priest for a
No, no,
sex?
it wasn't that. No, no, no. It was as an adult that you reflected with all your memories and everything that you had shunned away
So
that
there was
you
no
found out.
there's no exorcism at the age of 9.
No, the exorcisms were 4 years ago.
Okay, perfect. So at the age of 9, you started to be
At the
possessed.
age of 9 was when the rituals started. That's when it was determined through through the exorcisms. I was able to piece back a lot of the memories that I had. I
Okay,
had, like when you have flashbacks,
flashbacks. So at the age of 9,
right?
there was no priest intervention in regards to exorcism, but there was sex involved.
Well, you didn't know what you were doing because you were 9 years old.
So
You know what I
so
mean? And besides, not only that, this you were liquored up. Because you have to understand, you were liquored up, and he would liquor you up. They were drugged up, and he would always do this thing with the sermon. So it was like a hypnosis. So you didn't know. That's why a lot of this stuff was so invested into your subconscious.
but
And
was it
when you would see these flashbacks, you didn't know what they were, and you would just set them back, send them
but,
back.
but was the sex with a priest at the same time that you were being possessed by the demon, or like did they overlap each other? I
It
mean,
wasn't that you were no, no, no. It wasn't like that. It was nothing like that. It wasn't the demon was there or anything that you were possessed at 9 and you're already possessed. It was this was around you, the whatever, because this how it was explained to you is that it's an entity that attaches onto you.
yeah, but okay, what I'm
So
trying.
the Catholics, that's how the Catholics explained it to me, that
Okay,
this
but
entity was introduced to me, so it attached itself to me.
do you think that maybe that they were trying to deflect and say, well, it wasn't that you were having sex with a priest, but the demon that made you believe that you were having sex with a priest?
No, 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 no. No, there's two different situations here.
I'm sorry, I lost you. What?
The pedophile stuff, those are two different things that they were into,
Separate. They didn't happen at the same time.
you know.
Okay, okay, that's fair. So they started to manifest at the age of 9. Was it like permanent, or was it go and come? This the demon
Nothing
that was.
started to manifest at the age of 9. It was introduced at that age because that's when they would have the masses. I was
The
involved in those black masses at that age.
At the age of 9, you were part of the black masses.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but again, during those black masses, was that when the sex happened, or were those separate incidents?
Those were separate incidents.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, oh, we're getting there. So, uh, opted, or who made the determination that you needed to go to the black masses at the age of 9? Was it your parents? Was it
No, my
care?
mother, no, she parents had nothing to do with this. It was, it just happened,
But who
you know.
determined that you needed
It
to
was the
go?
priest. The priest, father did.
But who gave the priest permission to effect the black masses on you? Was it your parents? Was it grandparents, caregivers, or you don't remember?
Hello?
Yeah, parents, grandparents, guardians, or
No, it was no. I mean, we were with him. We grew up with him in the church,
with the
so
priest.
he took care of us.
The priest took care of you.
Yes,
I think I'm losing you. The priest was your caregiver.
the what?
Who was your caregiver that okayed the black masses?
Nobody okayed the black masses. The priest was the one that was manipulative. That he did these. Nobody in the right mind would okay a black mass.
No, 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 okay.
Only somebody as seductive and crazy as they would. It's
But
not like you planned this. They would, I guess. The
my question:
priest.
you at the age of 9, who put you in the hands of the priest in order to perform these ceremonies on you?
My mother trusted the priest.
Oh, okay,
That's
mom.
why we were in the hands. Yeah,
Right.
my mother trusted the priest, not knowing what was going on.
Okay. And in regard, okay, and in regards to the sex with the priest, did that came back like later on at a later age that you were starting to remember that that happened, or was something that was prevalent throughout your teens? Your
Something that we just hid, just blocked,
so it,
completely blocked. Because, like I tell you, he would he would use a lot of that hypnosis on you.
okay,
He would use a lot of hypnosis.
okay. So we've already determined that it started at 9. Uh, how often would it manifest throughout your teen life?
It wasn't so much. It wasn't that it manifested because, fortunately, throughout my teen life, I went into drugs because, like I told you, you were running from. I was always running from something. I
Right.
didn't know what it was, what I was running from, until now, as an adult,
What
and knowing that I'm running from something and I don't know what it is and it needs to stop.
what type of
And I'm,
uh, speed, hallucinogens, pot,
pardon?
coke? What type of drugs?
Back then, when I was yeah, yeah, it was coke and weed,
How about acid?
pills. No, never acid. No, no stuff like that. No, but that was it. You know, and
Now,
then, but that was back then as a kid. You know, I'm talking teenage years.
now, do you think that maybe the drugs had something to do with you not being able to remember, and then later on, maybe when you got off the drugs, that you start to remember everything, or
Well, that's called numbing. That's how I numbed the pain.
you numb the
So
pain?
yeah, you didn't want. Yeah, that's you didn't want to remember. You did. You did. So that's how you would numb the pain. That's how I discovered. That's what. You don't go at 13 years old. You don't wake up and say, "Oh, I'm going to do drugs." You do it for a reason. But I never knew what the reason was because of the brain games that this man would play on.
No,
You
that's
know.
now. What can you describe? What happened during these episodes of demonic possession?
Okay. So this goes back now as an adult. So as an adult, you feel. I mean, you'd go. I'd go to church. You know, I'd grow up, whatever. Start going to church, get married, go to church. You feel every time you're in church. You know, there was like, even when we were with him, he never taught us. For me, I could say I don't know anything holy. The holy background that I have is what was taught to me by my mother. Other than that, not by him. So every time I go to church, I don't know, there's something in me, or I could feel this ugliness, but like a child with severe ADHD in the pew, not paying attention, just horribly. Stuff at the house, manifesting, just things, seeing things, just seeing just things happening.
But
I'd have my house, I'd get my house blessed, things would get worse.
did the demon have a name,
Uh,
or was there many demons?
It was many, apparently, according to every time I go to the exorcisms, they would say that there were, oh, we took away so many demons. Apparently, there was many, but there was one, and they themselves said it's him. You read the transcript.
Yeah, but did it have a name?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
What was the demon's name?
Beelzebub.
Huh? Beelzebub?
Yes,
Beelzebub was the name for Satan.
well, that's his name.
Huh?
That's his name.
Beelzebub was Satan.
Well, that's the name that he's. That's his name. I don't know.
That's right. Because there are some names for some demons out there, like in Scripture there is called Legion, because we are many. But Beelzebub. Cool. Now, I think one in some of the conversations that we had, you did make mention that you would levitate.
Yes, it got to the point after the well. What happened was I went through about 9 sessions there at the cathedral. After the cathedral, that the priest that they stopped the sessions. Then the list came out with this before we even knew that the list was coming out, and they stopped all communication. Um, my husband would pray because I could feel the intensity just horribly. This blackness is I can't describe it. It's like I can't. It's undescribable. It's an energy or some sort. I can't really describe it. An uneasiness in me. So he would start praying and praying and I'd play like Christian music, right? And I'd start shaking to what would happen. What would happen when they would I would be in the exorcisms, and he taped them. So I've got several of those tapings to where there's a lot of movement and jerking and shaking, and my eyes are red as well as manifesting the levitation and a lot of the shaking and all that at the house.
And all this is here in Brownsville.
Yes. And I still don't have the backing of my religion. How sad is that? And they
Well,
brought this on me.
upon reading the statement from the arts from the diocese, it does. And you correct me if what I'm interpreting what they're saying. What they're trying to say is that y- y- your family life has been so unstable that they're blaming that on these manifestations of these demons.
Yeah. And why was it unstable? What caused instability? What was the pivot, Erasmo?
Well, this is what I'm just saying what they're saying, because they said that you had a
Yeah.
hatred towards the priest, distrusted the church,
Yeah.
uh, trust for I think Friar Alfonso, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He was the that's and he's he was the that's the exorcist.
Yeah,
He's the one that was doing the exorcisms, but yet take it back when I told Maricel, which was the lady from the Exodus program, and I told her, and the deacon, I told the deacon, I said, that's the son of a bitch. I said, that's the one that took me back to the altar. And his words, he goes, oh, Hita, he used to be very mean, but he had an epiphany 10 years ago and he changed. Son of a bitch has been a priest for like 100 years, and he had an epiphany 10 years ago. Really, he brought me at the age of 9, took me back, put me back on an altar, and they shot me up with something. And that's when I just remember when that's when they used me to open up the gates of hell. Yes, that sounds weird, but that's what it was used for, what I was used for.
one of the statements that was made by the documents that I read state that you were showing improvements after your fourth exorcism or blessing. Are they calling? Are they interchanging blessings for exorcism, or is that something totally different?
Well, it's an exorcism. They were trying to say blessing so that they wouldn't get in trouble.
Okay, so after your fourth exorcism, they came to state they came to state that you were doing progressing. There was big improvements. What were those big improvements?
I have no idea. I have no idea what improvements they're talking about because and there's the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, and the ninth. What happened?
Now, they make mention that they had provided a female spiritual guide for you to talk to. Was that Marisol or was that somebody other?
Maricel.
Marisol. And Marisol
but
was
it
like
wasn't the
the
Marisa. She was just one of the ladies uh, that was there during the exorcisms. One of the prayer
hello,
people. She was
the
one of the
prayer
prayer
people.
people. Yeah.
My internet just started to die out. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is maybe the demon cutting off my internet, but
Yeah, that happens a lot to me.
I just went in circles. So after the sixth blessing, it said stated that you started to go to recess. Uh, your condition was getting worse. Manifestation at home. They were very violent and controlling. The demon increased your pride and kept the grip through prideful actions and you being unforgivable. Is this like them trying to blame you for the demon's presence in your life?
I think so. And then another thing that they were really adamant about was that they, for some reason, they want, and I understand, and, they wanted me to be very submissive, and they wanted me to kind of like, and I told them, I said, I'm sorry, I'm not married, so I'm not, and we're not living in biblical ages. To I'm going to be submissive to my husband because that's how they made it feel like I wasn't submissive enough to where when my husband walked in, I had to be kneeling basically for him like in biblical times. And I said that I told that's not going to happen. So they were kind of blaming the fact that I wasn't submissive enough to what was happening at my home.
And do you have a stable
Yes, I do.
life at home, marriage
I
life?
have a very stable home with very successful children.
Awesome. That's great. It's great that besides all the horrible things that happen in regards to
That's
the sexual
exactly
and the
that's what
teenager.
that's what's very upsetting, that nothing has been done, and I'm it's not, it hasn't been fair and hasn't been an easy ride.
Yeah. Now, do you still have the demon in your life?
Oh God, oh yes sir, that thing is, it's very horrible when you're trying to look in the mirror and you get a glimpse of yourself and those eyes look back at you red.
So Beelzebub is still with you.
Pardon?
Beelzebub is still with you.
Yes, I believe so. I know so. It's still in me, and I'm still trying to find a way to get it out, but it's expensive, and I don't think why it's fair that I have to still continue to pay thousands of dollars in insurance and have to pay for this and for therapies and all that, and they got away with it.
Well, one of the things I think that we had in the conversation that I found very very interesting because I think I had heard about this when I was younger that there's actually tunnels that
Yes,
go
there is.
from Guadalupe to the
Yes,
dice
there.
or to
Yes,
Immaculate.
yes, there is. The priest himself had told me they actually connected to. There was a right across from Guadalupe back then. There used to be the one for the nuns. Not sure what it's called. What's it called?
The convent.
The convent, exactly. The convent used to be there. According to Father Ortiz, back in the 60s, they had found skeletal remains between Guadalupe and the convent, as well as along the cathedral of fetuses.
Are these for abortions or for
Definitely. Yes, from the nuns, according to Father Ortiz.
so? These tunnels were used for what exactly? For hideaways, for getting from one place to the other fast without anybody knowing, for
I
smoking.
don't know, but and one of the, I know that when they would drug us up to perform the rituals and stuff like that, I know that we were down there.
Now, one of the things that you had made mention is that you filed a lawsuit against the Catholic Church here locally, and
Yes.
that lawsuit was thrown out of court. Why was it thrown out of court?
On mine, they said mine was because of statute of limitations. That's what they said.
I'm sorry,
But
again.
the statute of limitations, however, my sisters went through for a very hefty amount.
Okay, so so your sister has a current lawsuit pending against the local Catholic Church.
Had,
Had.
had.
So was did they come to a determination?
Yes, sir.
Did they settle? Oh,
Yes, sir.
so she can't speak about it, and the Catholic
No,
Church doesn't want to make it public.
she can't.
Did she get boohoo's of money, or
Yeah.
now did you file your lawsuit at the same time that your sister did?
Yep. Yes, we did.
Why would one thrown out and one?
Exactly. Because they were afraid of the. I manifested during, and they got scared and they whisked him out. They whisked him out because I scared him.
Were any politicians involved?
I I'm so glad you mentioned politicians because even though I voted for him many times and probably vote for him again, I did reach out to our local politicians, and yet none of them have reached out.
Do you think that the cover up in regards to everything that had happened extends into the political world with
Most definitely, baby. Most definitely. And it goes beyond that.
okay?
Goes beyond the Catholic. There's others involved.
What do you mean by beyond beyond politics?
Yeah,
Like beyond local politics, like maybe state politics, or
definitely. Definitely. This is just the beginning of it, Erasmo. I mean, it's like I'm telling you, it's not just peanut butter and jelly. The pedophile stuff, that's peanut butter and jelly. The real stuff is the black stuff, the blackness.
no? What are your next steps from here?
Actually, I'm glad you asked because I currently working with SNAP, and that's a program with the survivors of clergy abuse, but I am with the ritual abuse. It's for survivors of
Of
clergy abuse.
survivors of exorcism abuse or
No, of clergy abuse.
of clergy abuse?
Of the clergy abuse, and it's there's the ritual sector, which is the one I'm in, for people that have been in rituals, abused by ritualism, and so it's with Deb, and so we're currently working on something right now. Or I'm working with them on something.
Well, let me ask you, Ramona has a pretty great statement. Have you ever, I mean, have you ever like tried going to maybe a Protestant church to see if they can help out with Beelzebub?
I have tried. I've gone. I have had. I don't even know what religions I've gone to. I've done everybody. I didn't even know what I thought. I was just a Catholic, and Christian was a different religion. The Catholic set me straight on that and said, anybody who believes in Christ is a Christian. It's Catholic. It's non-denominational. Just, I mean, uh, Jehovah, whatever. And I actually gone with different types of Christians, and they've gone to the house, and they can't. They don't go back, Erasmo. They don't fucking go back.
So once you go demon, you don't go back.
They don't go back.
Oh,
They come, they promise you the world, and they tell you, I'm going to come back. And blah, blah, blah. They don't.
get to the state with no peace.
They don't come back. They go in once, all strong and headed, and then they never come back. And
I have,
the flies, man. That's what gets me, the flies.
yeah, I have that problem with my dentist. Yeah, once he's in, he's there. But let me say, I'm concerned that everyone wants to like shove this under the rug.
It's always been that way, Erasmo. Yeah. Especially, especially our bishop. Why can't he help? Why does he hide? I went to him.
Well, you made mention that even as of right now, there are still exorcisms being performed here in Brownsville, Texas,
Well, they're not in Brownsville, they're in the Basilica.
in La Basilica. So
Yeah.
here locally, there are exorcisms, but yours were here in Brownsville.
No, at the Basilica at St. John's.
That's fine. So let me say, have you all considered, like, for all these other individuals that were sexually abused by the priest, and all these other individuals who've had these exorcisms, and they've been shunned by the church? Have y'all ever thought, like, maybe of uniting, coming together, and maybe as
That, that's what SNAP is for.
okay? So what are the next steps in that SNAP has put on the table for y'all?
Well, for me, there's a symposium coming up for next year.
Do you think the cartels and drug dealers are involved?
I don't know. El Chapo probably. I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, you've been around this world for so long. Things I think that I've always thought kind of weird was how a lot of people here, they worship the
Well, they
sun.
use, yeah, that's a different type of, that's Santeria, I think. That's uh that's different worshiping, I think. There's different types of devil worshiping, and this different cults. This one was they were
But
they
it always seems to be like part of the Catholic faith, isn't it? Like all these little
well,
cults.
it goes back to then. Goes back to that, and the weird thing is, I even had a um a cross uh on my body come out.
A cross.
A cross,
Cro-
tattoo
But I
on my
thought
body
a cross. But
of a cross.
didn't I read in the transcripts that you had issues with crosses?
I don't remember that. Maybe. Oh yeah, when I see them, yeah. But there's a cross on my body that like 2 years ago came out.
Yeah, but because I specifically read in the transcripts that you had issues with the
With
Virgin.
crosses and certain saints.
Yeah,
Yeah,
saints and crosses, but and holy water.
yeah,
But now you have, and one came out on your body now.
yes.
Okay. Now my other question is, have, have you lost faith, complete faith in the Catholic faith?
Ah man, I don't, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. I, I don't know, man. I don't know. I
Well,
don't know.
still believe in the Catholic faith?
I want to say I want to believe in something. I just don't know what.
So I mean, after all the abuse, after all the back and forth, hiding stuff under you still want to hold on to faith. To
Yeah,
the,
because that's the last thing you have. The last thing you have to hold on to is faith, and faith is God, right?
the faith in God or faith in the Catholic
Faith
religion.
in God. I'd like to say in my religion.
So faith in God, but no faith in the Catholic religion.
No, I still have faith in my religion. They have to make it right. It
But they're,
has to be made right.
but they're not going to.
Or maybe that's my purpose. I don't know.
Yeah,
Because there's something in the transcripts
words.
that
I'm not trying to put words in you. I'm not Beelzebub. But you can accuse of that. But what you're saying is they screwed you over, literally and physically, and they didn't help you. They called you crazy. They shunned you. They've taken communion from you. They've not taken your lawsuit. They've not made amends. But you still want to hold on to that faith.
because it's God. I mean, it's still God. They're wrong.
There's God, and then there's religion.
Yeah, but they're not all wolves. You know,
Every single priest that you've encountered, according
as
to
a
what,
fucking wolf. Yeah. Well, there's got to be some good ones in there. Can't lose my faith, right?
but every single priest and friar and everyone that I read in the report, I mean,
Yeah, they're all those were bastards, Erasmo.
so
But there's got to be some good ones.
have you met a good one?
There's got to be one.
Huh?
I've no, I haven't met a good one yet. There's got to be one. Can't give up on hope.
Is that like the golden grail? Like we've got to find that great. And I have and I'm asking you because of what. And again, folks, I've had the privilege of reading the report, but that's what basically the report says, that every single priest that Dee's come in contact with has been a horrible individual, a monster. Again, this is according to what the conversations that I've had with Dee. So, and personally, I mean, I have great friends that are priests. Father Michael was a great friend of mine when he was here. Father Tony up here at Cameron Park is a great friend of mine. I love him. Um, so I know that there are great priests out there. But in your experience, according to what I've read,
I
not
haven't had the best experience, but there's got to be someone out there good. And there's got to be somebody that's going to hear the podcast and will take it to the bishop's ears and will see that he's wrong and he needs to stop being that sheep, you know, the wolf. He needs to be the sheep that he is and herd his sheep correctly and stop being the wolf.
Dee is married, and again we mentioned that, and does have children. We've mentioned that throughout the show. So yes, are you still having issues with her demon, or is it gone already?
No, it's still here. Nobody's taking it away.
So Bill's is still there. I mean, just ask. So right now, it's not just two of us. There's three of us present.
I guess you could say that, yeah.
But can you will Beelzebub to come out and speak, or
I don't know how that. It's not something that I just tell him come out and he comes out. It's not something I can control.
well,
I think it more like controls me. I think I don't know how that works. That's weird. it
when when I read the transcripts, it seemed like you could summon him because that's what I got from the.
yeah. It's summoned through prayer. It's summoned through prayer, or I think that when it manifested was, I guess, because he was there, the bishop, you know, the holiness, I guess, of it, and the, I guess, the blackness of what's in me. I guess I don't know. It just came out,
So
and
let me ask: do you consider those priests that did all this horrible stuff, and the current priests that are continue to blackball you? Do you consider them demonic, Satan's minions?
they're minions for sure.
So yes, you consider
They're
them.
Satanists. Well, Gavada for sure. The other ones, the three others that I mentioned that are alive, definitely because they were part of the four horsemen,
Uh,
and they,
uh,
I'm sure they're still practicing.
are there still those four horsemen here
The
locally?
well, Gavada, I'm sure Father Ortiz was replaced. Who replaced him? I don't know.
But they still exist. The four horsemen.
Yeah, four horsemen. They did exist back then. Yes, sir. It was a Nicolao's still alive. And remember, these are your Monsignors now.
Oh, Father Nicolau is like an icon here.
Hmm. Exactly. That's why they get away with everything. That's why they shun everything. That's why they put everything underneath the rug. Everything, it's hush. Just like that situation of, what was it, at the veterans school? It's an
Yeah.
A1 A plus school. Same thing. Shut it up. Don't let the public know. But this is what's happening. This is our city. Make it better.
Did you ever ask the priest why they were doing this to you or to others?
Terror demonic. It's
No.
was
Did
what it
you ever?
was.
They
No,
state that.
no, no. I'm just, that's the conclusion. They were bad people. That's what the psychologists and I come to a conclusion to. You know, they were bad people. They were sick
So,
individuals.
so what are the next steps for you?
With a snap. For now, it's snap. Try it. It's not easy getting up every morning, waking up with hatred, blackness, and then try to put on a happy face for your family and continue to live a what's considered a normal life.
Well, we wish you a lot of success, and we hope that maybe someone out there in the news media may want to continue to pursue this what happened, and maybe make a couple of stories out there on it. I'm hoping that Channel 5, Channel 4 someone out there, decides that maybe it's a good opportunity to have a sit down and have conversations to bring the light of what's going on here in the community. Uh,
Definitely.
I wish you the best, and I hope that you don't have to deal with Beelzebub much longer.
I hope so too. I hope I can start a brand new year, be free, and know what it's like to be normal and to smell out, to smell the dew, the sunlight, feel that on your face, to be what it's to feel love unconditionally and to be normal. I think is what is important to me, and to be able to walk into a church, take the Eucharist, you know, would be something very big for me.
Cool. We already asked that. Yes, she is baptized and has gone through all the sacraments. Oh, we appreciate you being here. And again, uh,
Thank you so much for your opportunity. God bless you.
God bless you. Whenever you get any next steps in regards to what's going to happen, what's going to occur, please let us know, and
I
we'll.
definitely will. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Mr. Castro.
Thank you. God bless.
Yes, likewise.
Uh, and let me say, guys, and one of the things that I've always shared out there is anyone that wants to express something, come on and everything. And I was approached by Dee to see if I would be willing to talk about what her experience was. Uh, and again, guys, anyone that wants to come on has an opportunity to come on. And I think there's a lot of things that happen here in the city of Brownsville that we're not necessarily made aware of. And a lot of things I throughout this whole meet, I've been able to find out some things that I'm interested in maybe pursuing a little bit more. Not so much as in regards to the church's practices, because church can do whatever they feel they want to do or need to do. But more than anything, in regards to these tunnels, I'm interested in finding out where these tunnels are at. And so, if anyone out here at the Archdiocese would care for me to see the tunnels, I'd really like that. I love everyone, guys. We're gonna call it quits for tonight. I've got to rush on home. I got to start getting ready for my trip, hopefully to New York City, despite this weather. We'll have Frankie on, or maybe Susan on, or someone on before I leave, and hopefully they could pick up some slack in regards to my absence. I love y'all. Uh, Appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on, guys, and thank you, Lupe. Love you, Baba. Guys, have a great evening. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. Guys, be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless.